Welcome to the Talk to Tom show. Talk to Tom. 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 Try saying that fast 15 times. Hey, let's go. Hey, Doc. What's the deal with my Achilles? Okay, Doc. A lot of the stuff that we've talked about seems to have a stretching component to it and cures that don't seem too intense. Important, but not super intense. One thing that I've heard a lot about and I hear a lot about that takes people out for an extended period of time is an Achilles problem. Can you tell us a little bit about the things that can go wrong and things that we can do with our Achilles?
Sure, Tom. The Achilles tendon is actually the connection between the calf muscle to the heel bone. And it can be tight, it can be shortened, or it can be lengthened. A lot of times people will get pain in the back of their foot, the back of their heel, and it's from inflammation of that Achilles tendon. Now there are a large range of injuries that can happen to that tendon. It can come from something as simple as just inflammation and tendinitis, where you get pain every time you push off or anytime you go up and down stairs, all the way to the extreme of actually rupturing that tendon. Rupturing is the most extreme form of a tendinitis, and it's most common in men, usually about the ages of 25 to 40. The tendon becomes degenerative, you may not feel any pain at all, and you're running and all of a sudden you stumble or push off suddenly and feel a pop. That's almost always treated surgically in the athletic population. Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, you can have thickening of the tendon, which is called tendinopathy. A lot of times that happens with age as you get older. More of our athletes are older, and we see this a lot. They get pain, and we'll get a study that shows that the tendon is actually thicker. So the recovery time after that injury is a little bit longer. You can even get partial tears where the tendon still is intact, but it's inflamed enough that you get little tears that you have pain. So it's important to come in and get an evaluation to determine the extent of your injury. It may be something as simple as rest, anti-inflammatories, wearing a boot, or I may need to put you in a cast, may need to keep your weight off of it, or as a last resort, we may need to do surgery.
I don't want to be the wet blanket, but are Achilles injuries chronic? Are they long-term?
They can be. So it's important to address the problem first and find out the extent of your injury. If it's simply an inflammatory process, that's going to be the shortest time to recovery. If you've actually got a tendinopathy where there's been a change in the structure of the tendon, that's more of a permanent change, and you may have to modify your activity even more.
Do you see, I see, and I don't know if this holds true in the medical community, but I see more guys having problems with Achilles injuries than I do women. Is that unusual?
I think there's maybe a slight predominance of men over women, and a lot of it may have to do with the extreme amount of force that the men have. They have a higher body weight when they push off, so that may have something to do it. But it's an equal opportunity issue.
This is almost a training question, but I want to ask it anyway since I have you here today. Intensity. I see more Achilles injuries tend to get worse with intense, hard running and hard uphill, going uphill, working out really hard like that. True or false?
Very true. Absolutely. Anytime you push off with your foot, you're contracting your calf muscle and pulling at that Achilles tendon. That explosive nature is what actually pulls at the insertion, and that's where the injuries can occur.
Thanks, Doc. Join us next time when we talk about how to exercise while being overweight.
For more information, call 214-496-9700 or go to www.eliteortholascalinas.com.
Out of the Blue Media. Creativity, personal attention, never stop.